Hello everyone and welcome to another segment of the East Brunswick Advisory Health Council's Wellness Spotlight. Well, we know that the temperature has drastically changed. Winter is approaching and it is freezing outside. What if you're the type of person who loves working out outside? Perhaps you play soccer or baseball, football. It's tough to be able to enjoy that kind of pastime when it's so cold. Hard to be able to move. It can really be unsafe at times, and all that exposure to the cold elements can be very hazardous to your health. But there's a best-kept secret in town that people are learning about. It's a great indoor facility right in East Brunswick where people who play field sports can be able to go and be able to enjoy their sport indoors in a climate-controlled environment. It's called The Fields, and we're here as part of the Wellness Spotlight today to show you this wonderful facility. I'm here today with Alan Shilling from The Fields, who's going to be giving us a tour and telling us more about it.
Hey Ken, how you
Hi
doing?
Alan, welcome to the Wellness Spotlight, and thank you for showing us your facility.
Thank you, and thank you guys for coming.
Alan, I know that this is a large part of your vision, and you have a background in wellness and in fitness. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Growing up, I was involved in many different sports, soccer, swimming, baseball, although I wasn't very good at baseball, but I was involved in a little bit of everything. As I got older, I started getting more serious about soccer and started to travel a bit for soccer to different indoor facilities, to different outdoor facilities. Went on, played in college and everything, but sport was always a part of my life. And then in college, I started to get into more of well-rounded physical fitness as opposed to just one sport. I really got into wellness and physical fitness for my own health as opposed to for a sport, kind of after I got out of college. After college, I decided to go on and study sports psychology in graduate school and everything. So now, basically, after 27 years of playing sports in many different ways, I've had this great opportunity to come here at a facility like this and bring it to the people. Bring it to East Brunswick and see what you guys, what people might be able to use it for.
Now, you have a degree in sports psychology?
Yeah, that's correct.
Where'd you go to school?
I graduated from Rutgers University just down the road here in New Brunswick for my undergraduate degree in psychology and Spanish as well, actually. And then I decided to go down to the University of Tennessee, go Volunteers. I went to the University of Tennessee for sports psychology. It was a great program. I was able to work with some really great people, some really great athletes as well, some of which are now in the WNBA, in the NFL. And it was just really a treat to be able to work with them. I thought it really enhanced my learning experience, and I've got some great memories from it. So.
Now, as a sports psychologist, what is it that most people who want to be healthier, what is it that they could do to be able to help them do that? We're coming up on a time of year where people are starting to make resolutions about how they can make 2011 a healthier year for themselves.
Right.
And most people know the way, but they don't go the way. Is there some advice you can give them as a sports psychologist on what they could do to be more successful?
Well, I think as a sports psychologist, what I would say is, first of all, know yourself, know what's realistic, and set some realistic goals for yourself. What's realistic for one person if they want to necessarily, let's say they want to go on and participate in the Olympics, may not be realistic for another. So first of all, know yourself, know what's a realistic goal for yourself, and then decide on a path that can maybe get you to that goal. Certainly have some reevaluation along the way that says, have I achieved my goal, have I not? If I haven't, why haven't I achieved it? And kind of let it be a cycle that you kind of revisit often so that hopefully eventually you will get to your goal.
And then, of course, you have to be able to do the things that you need to do in order to be able to get there.
That's
and
correct.
That's where the Fields can come in. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the vision behind the Fields? How did this whole idea come about?
Well, again, growing up playing sports, I happened to be fortunate enough to be in the sport industry in my professional career, and now I'm surrounded by people every day who always or who have always been interested and involved in sports in one way or another. When this opportunity presented itself, we all kind of put our heads together and said, well, hey, I like soccer. Maybe we can do something with soccer. And hey, I like baseball, wrestling, flag football, yoga, Pilates, Zumba, whatever they'd like to do. We all kind of put our heads together and we found a way to kind of coexist under one roof. And that's kind of what we're doing here. So really our goal is to be a community-based athletic facility for everyone. Again, depending on what age you are, what gender you are, what nationality, ethnicity, wherever you're coming from, this is a place that you can hopefully, and what our hope is that everyone can achieve their goals here under our roof.
What types of people use your facility?
I would say on the youngest end, we have mommy and me classes, for example, that really go a long way as far as socializing the children. Really builds that bond, that strong bond and relationship between the mother and the child. And then on the older side, we have senior size classes, for example, that's really geared towards getting seniors active, getting them moving, making, being a social environment for them to meet some new people. And then everything in between. We have for boys and girls, we have all the different sports that we do. But yeah, there's a little something for everybody.
Excellent. I would love everyone to be able to see this beautiful state-of-the-art facility. Would you mind taking us on a tour?
Absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
Let's go and take a look.
Sure.
Alan, this place is huge.
Yeah, it's pretty big. We're looking at 200 by 100 across. Yeah, it's a pretty big space.
Now, what do they play in here?
Well, we do soccer, field hockey, lacrosse, ultimate frisbee, flag football, you name it, whatever, softball, baseball, there's a bunch of different things that go on in here. So every day people approach us with new ideas and we're happy to welcome them in.
And you've got a nice high ceiling. It's very well lit. There's plenty of room.
Right. Yeah, well, it's a good space, I think, from a soccer player's perspective. This would be a treat for me to play on. Also, the nice thing that we have the ability to do is customize the space depending on who comes in. Again, the whole field 200 by 100 is a large space if you just have one team, let's say. And if you need to use a smaller space, we do have these nets on the side where we can string them across, and we can do a half a field, we can do a third of a field, we can do a quarter of a field. So depending on what people are looking for, we're happy to customize the space to their program.
Now, what is this stuff we're walking on?
This is actually professional field turf. Now what it is the little rubber particles that are in the field is actually ground up tire that makes it nice and soft. And then of
it's
course,
springy
it's
too.
Nice and bouncy. Yeah, it's very, very safe. And actually, it's laid down on top of what used to be clay tennis courts, which means it's essentially as close to real grass as you can get, laid on top of dirt. So in terms of a real authentic outdoor experience, you're not going to get any closer than this.
Now, do the athletes or people who play on this field have to wear any special footwear?
We're pretty much open to whatever they're comfortable with. We don't have any restrictions as far as cleats that are not allowed in here. If they want to wear cleats, they're welcome to do that. Some people choose to wear flats. It's really about their comfort level. But no, there's no cleat that's going to come out here and hurt the turf. It's very durable stuff, so it'll last.
Now, do you have leagues that also come and play here too?
We do have leagues. Basically, the best way to look at it is as like an a la carte selection within each of the sports. So if you came to me and said, look, I'm involved with soccer and I'd like to learn more about your programs in soccer, I might say, well, we have leagues. We have pickup nights where there's open soccer. We have practice sessions if you want to bring your team in. We have tournaments that you can get involved in. We have training sessions that someone else can coach your team with. So it's depending on what you're looking to do. I mean, every coach has his own kind of path that he'd like to take his kids down, and we're just happy to offer the different programs that will allow him to get there.
And I think this is fantastic because it's about 28 degrees outside right now as we're speaking, and we're inside here, and it's nice and comfortable and warm. It's protected. You don't have to worry about snow or rain. And, I guess one of the big things that concerns parents and coaches is whether or not their game is going to be able to go off, and whether they can have practice, but you can guarantee that.
Well, that's the thing, and we're very fortunate to to be in a position to do that. We can go back to teams and say, look, use this as your insurance policy. If everything gets too chilly or just wet or snow or whatever outside, you can always come in here. In the winters, it's heated. In the summers, it's air conditioned. So it's always very comfortable in this space. Again, like you said, it's well lit. So nighttime, daytime, it doesn't really matter for us. We can there's oftentimes we've actually had ultimate frisbee tournaments that will go for a 12-hour period. They'll start at 10 o'clock in the evening and go until 10 the next morning. So we do a bunch of different programs that really span all hours of the day, all days of the week, all months of the year. So yeah, it's a pretty exciting thing to be a part of.
And then I also know that you also have this field available for special events. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, actually, that's an interesting use for the facility that I hadn't initially thought of, to be honest, but actually we've done a lot of different expos and conventions here, and the field's really turned out to be a great space for something like that. Again, as a soccer player, I see soccer when I look at the field, but some convention and expo people or really whatever people have an interest to use the facility as, again, we're happy to customize it. So we have had some good conventions in here that are very successful, and I think it's a good space just to be kind of a multi-purpose space. So.
I know the Middlesex County Chamber of Commerce had rescheduled their world's largest networking party here, which was literally blown away because of the weather, and they needed a place to go.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate, I guess, scheduling date that they had there. They picked an outdoor venue in New Brunswick, and yeah, I guess Mother Nature would have otherwise, so she, blew the tents away, and luckily I was there and said, hey, look, we have a backup plan, and they liked the idea. They came in, saw the place, and again, it worked out really, really well for them, I think, and we're lucky enough that we'll have them back next year, so we're excited.
Alan, what does it cost to be able to rent a place like this?
Well, the cost will vary very much by the time of day and the time of year that you're looking at, and also the amount of space that you're looking for. So certainly, from the most costly, I would say, being the dead of winter, let's say 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the evening, would be probably your most expensive time, because that's when everybody needs and wants to be inside. And then on the summer months when people have the ability to go outside, sometimes actually this past summer, I'm sure you felt it, it's probably getting a little too hot for some people. So they do like the ability to come inside into an air-conditioned environment and still practice their sport in the summer months.
Oh yeah, my son Jake, who's into ultimate frisbee, came down here one night in the middle of the summer and he played. It was 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
But it was nice and cool, and it was well lit even though it was dark outside, and most importantly, I knew he was in a safe place with his buddies where he could play ultimate. I
mean, I think you touched on an important issue for us is the safety issue. I mean, here we do everything we can to keep our patrons as safe. Any measures that we can take, we absolutely do. We have, anything that we think might be a cause for concern. There's pads up and everything like that. We do have first aid kits, on site, and there are medical professionals that are in the building. So we do everything we can to keep it safe. Another thing we do that we really take a lot of pride in would be keeping the facility very clean. We really out here on the field only allow water. There's no Gatorade, any other kinds of sports drinks. There's no food out here. And really the reason is you don't want it to start to, if someone spits their gum on the field, it's not like outside where the rain will come and wash it all away. It's really not the same here. So we do have to do everything we can to keep it clean. And for that, we do rely heavily on our patrons to say, respect everyone else that's coming through here. And the same way you'd like to, practice in a nice, safe, clean environment, we want to offer that to everybody else as well. So we are very, very strict with that. But I think ultimately everybody appreciates that.
This is very cool, and no grass stains either.
No grass stains. That's right. So for all you moms out there, don't worry about washing out any grass stains.
How about showing us the rest of your place?
Absolutely. Yeah, right this way.
Helen, I see you have a sign up that says Cleats for Kids. Donate used soccer gear here. Can you tell us a little bit about this program?
Yeah, sure, Ken. Actually, Cleats for Kids is a program that we run that's very near and dear to our hearts. We like to give back. I mean, we're fortunate enough to have a facility like this and be able to be involved with a bunch of different people across a bunch of different sports. We originally came up with the idea that, hey, look, we want to just give back cleats, and that's why Cleats for Kids, started. But since then, it's really evolved into sporting goods. So we do cleats, we do training shoes, we do shin guards, soccer balls, shorts, shirts, whatever people want to donate. We collect those used goods, and we do donations all over the world. So right now we're actually putting together some large donations that are going to be going down to Haiti for the Christmas season.
Oh, that's great.
And the idea really is, we'd love to give dollars, but ultimately dollars don't always necessarily make it to the people who really need them the most. And so to donate cleats and shin guards to a lot of people are would be deemed useless, and to a lot of these kids it puts a smile on their face, and it's really something that makes us feel really good, and we think a worthwhile program. So.
Now, do you have to be a member of the Fields or buy time here to be able to participate in this, or can anybody come down and donate?
No, actually, this program is open to anyone and everyone who can donate. I think there are enough people out there in the world who would certainly appreciate a pair of soccer shoes. So anyone and everyone, whoever has some equipment that they think might be able to be donated through this foundation, we'd be more than happy to accept. You do not have to be a member here. You do not have to be a part of any one of the programs that's going on here. If you just want to come down and drop off some some equipment, we're happy to accept that.
That's great. Thanks for telling us about that.
Thank you.
So, Alan, you have a specially devoted room to batting.
Yeah, actually, it's pretty amazing. I don't actually play baseball myself, though I've never actually been in here and actually done any of the batting, because I think it'd be pretty ugly. But we do actually have 4 batting cages in this facility. We've got 2 here, and then we've got 2 more just down the hall, as well as a room that's devoted to wrestling. And it's actually the same room that's very similar to this, and it's actually got wrestling mats down on the ground. So we do have a couple very specialized spaces in the facility.
Now, tell us about this room. It has artificial turf down, and you have a pitching machine.
Yeah, a pitching machine. So basically when the kids want to come in here and take some batting practice, either they'll come in with their team or they'll come in, we frequently have 2 kids come in together. You can get one person to load the machine, the other person sits here, and they just go through some hitting practice. You guys can switch. And then we also have 2 pitching lanes down on the other side of the facility. And over there you can have one person, pitching behind a screen, and you can have the other person doing some hitting practice. So
tell us about some of the other specialty rooms that you have here at the Fields and what other programs you have offered.
Well, we have a couple of dance studios, well, I should say studios, that have been used for dance in the past, but now they're being used more as multi-purpose spaces. We have 2 that are a little bit smaller, which are used for, currently there's some Zumba classes that are running there.
Now Zumba, that's a hot new craze for working out. Can you tell us a little bit about Zumba?
Yeah, Zumba is actually, it's like a dance exercise class where they take music from around the world that's high intensity, energetic, upbeat kind of music, and they play it good and loud, and they get everybody in a space there together, and they just dance. And from what they say, they dance the calories away. I mean, they get going, and it's a pretty cool experience. If you ever get a chance, you should come out and join it.
For all ages, men and women?
We do it for all ages, yeah. Although it's most popular with women, we do have some men who join us in the Zumba classes. Certainly all ages. Usually the kids are not really into Zumba. They're doing enough other things like batting or football or soccer or whatever. But it's really, we have a lot of, really from college, so about 18, 19, 20 years up until, we have 16, 17-year-olds who are doing Zumba as well. So it's a great program. It makes people happy. They can certainly shed some pounds and lose some calories from some Zumba, yeah.
Now, from seeing some of your other rooms, there was one room in particular that caught my eye with big giant truck tires in there and hoses and things.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, we actually, we're not a traditional gym in the sense that we don't have, all the barbells and all the dumbbells and all the bench presses and squat racks and everything. And the cardio equipment. We have a big field that you can do cardio, so you don't have to run on a treadmill. You can actually run on the grass, So in that room particularly, it's kind of like a CrossFit kind of workout, which is really ultimately more applicable to either sports or everyday life. And that's really what, we designed it with the intention of keeping it as health, a wellness for individuals kind of space. I mean, there are definitely exercises you can do in there that you can't do in a traditional gym, For example, if a buddy calls you up and says, hey, I need to move out of my apartment, can you help me? You don't need to be able to do a bench press to pick up a couch. You need to be able to lift the thing and then move it around and be dynamic with your movements. I think that's something that space will certainly allow you to improve on, certainly in everyone's life.
And that's a good point, too, because there are a lot of gyms in East Brunswick. Within a recent Wellness Spotlight, we featured Retro Fitness, which is a terrific gym in East Brunswick.
Right.
And it seems like your facility is a facility that people who belong to a gym can use in addition to their gym membership to be able to enjoy and be able to stay well.
Absolutely. We've actually done a lot of work with the gyms in the area because we do share that common goal of making people healthier, you know, and wellness is a priority for all of us. And so we don't compete in the sense that we don't sell memberships. You know, if you want a membership and you want to go do some curls or whatever you want to do in the gym, you can do that at one of the many gyms here in East Brunswick. What we offer is some application for what you're gaining, let's say, in each one of those gyms. So you can come and play a sport if you'd like to enhance or you know, fine-tune some of the exercises and movements you've done in some of the other gyms. You can do that here. We have a couple of professionals here. We do have a speed and agility coach. We do have a strength and conditioning coach. So a couple different people that can kind of guide you in the right direction, and again, ultimately get you towards whatever your goals are.
And it's great because all of the coaches that you have are specialists in each of their respective fields.
Right.
So the instruction is first rate, and people really get to learn not only how to do what they need to do well, but also safely.
Right, right. And again, going back to that safety issue, that is a priority for us. And so you're right, the professionals that we do have here have loads of experience under their belts, and you know, they do a great job with all the clients. People leave happy, they leave healthier, and with a smile on their face, and that's ultimately what we're looking to do.
Do you have any upcoming events here at the Fields that you'd like our viewers to know about? Do you ever have any open houses, or do you give tours of your facility? So if people would like to come down and take a look, how would they, you know, how would they go about doing that?
Sure. Well, they can. I mean, first they can go on our website at fieldsports.com. They can give us a call, you know, 732-651-7500. There's always somebody here, or if they just want to come down and see it for themselves, they're always welcome to come down. We'll do, you know, some tours for people. We do some expos, some conventions, so people may want to stop by for one of those things. If people are interested in one of the sports, you may want to call beforehand and find out when that sport is running. You can stop by, maybe drop into a session. A lot of our coaches here are very eager and willing to bring in new clients, and so they're happy to you know, pull people in whenever they can. So yeah.
And I'm sure that if there's a coach in the area that's interested in speaking with you, do you give certain special consideration or preferred rates to teams?
Absolutely. We do have quite a few teams. Well, I should say we have quite a few teams that come just as a team. We also have quite a few clubs that come as a group of teams. So certainly there are some, you know, preferred rates that, like with anything, the more that you buy of anything, the better rate that you'll get on you know, on it. So yeah, we do some good rates for our clients.
Well, Alan, I have to tell you that this was very interesting. This is the first facility of its kind that I know of in the area, not only in the county, but especially in East Brunswick. And I want to thank you so much for giving us the chance to be able to come in and see your beautiful facility.
Great.
And for talking to us about how it helps to improve wellness.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your time. And thanks everybody for watching, and hope to see you all at some point or another. Take care.
This concludes another segment of the East Brunswick Advisory Health Council's Wellness Spotlight. I'm Dr. Ken Friedman, President of the East Brunswick Advisory Health Council. And if you want to improve wellness in your life and really hit it out of the park in 2011 and beyond, come down and check out the Fields, and you'll find that wellness works when you work it.